SQL is a technical topic, and whenever you're dealing with a technical topic, it's a good idea to agree on the terminology involved in the discussion. I'll cover some of the more general terms here in this movie, and I'll cover more specific terms as they come up. Also, at the end of each movie, you'll find a slide recapping terms covered in that movie. A database is a store of tables, and tables are made up of rows and columns. DBMS is a database management system. This is the software package that manages the data in the database. The DBMS stores, retrieves, searches, updates, and deletes data in the database. It also typically controls access to the data. A DBMS may be used directly by users or may be used programmatically by another computer program that requires the use of a database. SQL is structured query language. SQL is a language for interacting with a DBMS. It's by far the most popular language used for this purpose. SQL is used both by users and by programs to interface with the DBMS. For example, here is a query in SQL, and this query retrieves the name, continent, and capital of countries and cities from a world database. A database is usually segregated into tables. Each table has its own configuration and usually carries its own class of data. For example, a country table or an album table. This is an example of a country table. You can see it carries information about countries. And this is an example of an album table that carries information about record albums. Tables are typically organized in rows and columns. A row usually represents all the information in a given record of data. For example, for a given country in the country table, a single row would have the name, continent, and region for that single country. For an album in the album table, a single row would have information about the title, artist, and label for a particular album. A column represents all like items across multiple rows. For example, in the country database, the name column has the names of all the countries in the database. The continent column has the names of all the continents in the database. In the album table, the title column has the names of all of the titles, and the artist column has all the artists across all the rows of the table. Columns are sometimes called fields, a more general term that applies also to non-relational databases. Likewise, rows are sometimes called records, and an individual item of data is sometimes called a cell. A cell is one place in a table that can hold one value. It is one column in one row. CRUD stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete, the basic four functions of a database application. The CRUD application that is distributed with this course is an application that creates, reads, updates, and deletes album and track information from the album database. These are the major terms that will be used during this course. More specific terms will be covered in individual lessons as they come up along the way. Also, at the end of each movie, you'll find a slide recapping terms used in that movie.